Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel, The Shepherd Kid Sessions. This is basically like a little introduction video just to introduce you guys to the channel on why it's called The Shepherd Kid Sessions, as well as a little bit about myself, the purpose of the channel, and as well a little bit of the content that you guys can look forward to, getting from this channel. So first and foremost, my name is Tony, guys. I am 24 years old. I am based off in Texas. I am a youth pastor at a local church here. I am also married and been married for about 2 years now with Karina. And I'm also a marketing director at Chick-fil-A. And also I am currently taking and I'm receiving my master's in biblical counseling. And I do have a bachelor's in psychology of science and a minor in rehab services. So again, guys, welcome to the channel. That's a little bit about myself, a little bit about the title. I guess in the name of the channel, The Shepherd Kid Sessions is, first of all, people might see it's like, hey man, that guy's like really young, or that guy's like, normally when an individual who guides, who gives counseling, who gives some form of direction to other people, thinks that that individual has to be completely like of old age. And don't get me wrong, obviously there are certain things that experience and age, can't be replaced by, but nonetheless, God also tells us that do not let anybody despise you of your youth, but you be an example to others with your conduct, with your speech, with your faith, and with your purity, and with your love. And that's exactly what I want to do with this channel. And so a little bit about, behind the Shepherd Kid Sessions is, well, I consider myself as a shepherd, some form of shepherd, right? A young shepherd. I'm definitely not like, I guess I would see like as a young pastor at my church, I am the youngest out of 5 elders there. And so it's definitely been a blessing, and so that's kind of a little bit about the shepherd kid, get it? And then the sessions are basically like counseling sessions. I am currently getting my master's in biblical counseling, and so I do plan on doing certain sessions as after I've obtained my master's and my certification as well. So this is just kind of like that, but in a vlog sort of sense, I guess. And that's a little bit about the title and the Shepherd Kid Session. So hopefully that takes away any ambiguity from the title. Now, the second or the third thing that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the purpose of this channel and what kind of motivated me to opening it up. So first, I definitely think that YouTube is an awesome platform to be able to reach out to people to communicate, for people to basically connect in a way that we normally wouldn't because of the distance, or the longevity of of relationships, or whatever it may be that may alter that relationship or that connection on an immediate basis. Definitely YouTube is a great mediator for that. And so with that, I want to also expand and be able to create these videos that I think have been definitely an encouragement to me, touching up on certain topics, certain questions, certain issues, struggles that people on every levels of life are either undergoing or have undergone. And definitely myself, knowing that I come from a single parent home raised by my mother, who had me at the age of 16, and my grandmother, being the only male out of a household of 3 siblings, of my 2 younger sisters being the oldest, and undergoing certain trauma, young in my age and throughout my pubescent stages as well, and understanding what type of implications and repercussions that can have. And coming from a psychological standpoint, people believe that nature and nurture, predispositions with also environmental conditioning plays a determinative role on the individual. But I'm here to tell you guys that by the grace of God, if that were really the case, I would not be here doing the things that I'm doing right now. So again, and I want to offer that help. I want to offer that help, to know that God does offer us His joy, not only His joy, but He does offer us hope in times of distress. And one of the major, motivators was a passage in Matthew chapter 9 that I was reading, after I had graduated from college with my undergrad, and then I got married right after. I worked for about a year, and then during that year I was like, God, do I go back? Do I not go back? And I was really contemplating, and I was reading a passage, and I've always had this desire, just because of my background, I always had a desire to want to help other people who've undergone these type of trials, or who are going through these similar trials that I went to, and I'm not scared. And by the grace of God, I'm with boldness and with confidence and with courage, I can share with people the type of traumas that I've undergone, knowing that they're not alone and that there is help. And so during this time, that's kind of what motivated me to get a degree in psychology, first and foremost. And definitely it did challenge me, I'm not gonna lie, because getting a secular degree and having a faith-based worldview, you know, they contradict in some form of way. They are complementary in some sense, but in I guess in the majority they are contradictory, just because of the perspective in which they have for certain issues or for certain causes of things. And so it really challenged me during that moment. You know, during that moment of my life, my faith was really tested, but nonetheless God used it in his wisdom and his sovereignty and his grace, used it for my benefit and for his glory, to know that I have an understanding, I have a background in what other counselors offer, you know, instead of, you know, I guess biblical wisdom, principle-based, you know, guidance. And so it definitely does help me to see the other alternatives. It definitely let me learn why I believe that all the other alternatives fall short to this truly long-lasting alternative, which is being impacted in a sense of you know, that to know that the major issue is an issue of the inner person, you know. And so yeah, so that's basically a little bit on why it is that I decided to pursue counseling. And you know, the passage I really touched up on, you know, as after I got married, after I was praying for God's direction, was Matthew chapter 9 verse 36, and it's basically Jesus coming before a multitude of people and him having compassion upon these people, because he saw that they were harassed and helpless and they were like sheep without a shepherd. And that really, you know, touched my heart. That really impacted me, because first and foremost, you know, God's heart towards his people, God's heart towards wanting to restore his people, wanting to guide his people, does not come from a selfish gain, but rather from one that is filled with compassion, with sincerity, with, you know, this truthfulness that comes from it, you know. And Jesus having compassion, you know, he saw these people's circumstances, and you know, and that's something that, you know, God has been putting in my heart, is a compassion, a sincerity, and a truthfulness of heart towards people's situations and circumstances, that when I want to offer help, when I want to offer some form of guidance, it comes from that type of heart. And it does not come from a heart to, you know, out of selfish gain or out of some form of selfish ambition that I may have for myself to prove my worthiness, but rather out of a true care for that person and their circumstance, you know. So that right there, that passage was definitely a catalyst to push me into going back to school and getting my master's, and also wanting to opening up this channel and discussing certain issues, you know, certain questions that a lot of people my age or younger or people of later ages might even have, you know. And I really do pray that this channel is a blessing to you guys. I hope that you guys benefit from it. I hope that it is fruitful, and I hope that, you know, that you guys come to really enjoy the content that I release. And you know, more than anything, I definitely want to offer you guys, I want to ask for y'all's help and y'all's opinion. So since this is just like an introduction video, I would love for you guys to kind of like just comment down below on the comment section and just put, you know, what type of videos or what type of questions you may have. And like I said, I'm not gonna present it like as if I know it all, but I would definitely, you know, by the wisdom of God and by the grace of God and by the guidance, I will be humble, and I'll admit to you guys when I don't know certain questions, when I don't have certain answers. But nonetheless, if I do have some form of guidance or counsel to offer you guys with that particular thing, I would more than gladly love to do so. So with that in mind, guys, again, welcome to the Shepherd Kids Sessions, and I hope that you guys enjoy, and I hope this channel becomes a blessing to you guys. Peace.